welcome to our first Culture Shock podcast. My name is Leslie Baker, and this is
Tia Bush.
and we are your host for the Culture Shock podcast. So I just want to let you know that if you're thinking, oh God, not another podcast, what value can this bring? Two ladies talking, what can they say?
Right.
Well, so this podcast is geared towards young female professionals that are just entering the workforce or individuals who've been in the workforce and have experienced some frustrations,
Yep.
specifically frustrations with dealing with other females. So
Yep.
this podcast is about exposing what the true workplace is that no one ever talks about. I know I've been in the workforce 20 years. And I wish somebody had told me what we're going to discuss on this
Yep.
podcast. So,
Yep.
welcome. We're glad you're here. And we're very excited to talk about this subject because we know it's going to bring value to you.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
let's do a quick introduction. Again, my name is Leslie Baker. I've been an HR professional for 20 years. I'm the author of Script for Success: How to Turn Tough Conversations into Career Wins. And I've also written Culture Code Breaker. So you can see in the background here a copy of my book. That is what fueled this podcast. T and I were having a discussion one day, and we were talking about the different dynamics in the workforce, and that's what prompted us to say, you know what, we can help other individuals.
Yep.
So, Tia, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Tia Bush again. I'm a newbie to this professional workforce, but I'm here today to talk about how we can help you guys learn about the professional workforce and do's and don'ts.
So, one of the things that I want to point out right away is that this is not a podcast regarding feminism.
Yes.
This is not about bashing men. This is not about saying that women are superior. This is strictly about talking how women interact with each other in the professional environment.
Yeah.
We hear all the time slogans, and there's multiple trainings within the HR industry that talk about women empowering women, but that's not necessarily the truth, and it's not the experience that most of us have when we enter into the workforce.
Yeah. Yep. And I feel like a lot of the newbies don't know this stuff when they're coming into the workforce. So us doing on this podcast, I want to talk about how the newbies in the professional workforce, like they need this professionalism advice, even from people my age, people her age, and people in between, because it could definitely help a lot.
Well, and also, like we alluded to before, is when I
Yeah.
entered the workforce many years ago, no one ever told me what it was truly going to be like out there.
Yeah, and nobody ever told me either.
I
I just went in blindly.
Yeah, and I can honestly say that, I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, and at no time during any of those courses did anybody ever say, hey, this is what it's truly like,
Yeah.
how you're going to be treated by other
Yep.
females when you get out in the workforce.
Yep, exactly.
Now, there may be courses out there nowadays that have advanced that do talk about that, but to my knowledge, I've not seen anybody talk about what it's really like to work with females in the
Yeah.
workforce.
No, I don't think I've ever seen anybody actually explain to people like what the workforce is actually like and what comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a lot of emotions, it's a lot of feelings, it's a lot of negativity,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, and I feel like most men, when they find out about this podcast, they are going to be cheering so loud
Yes.
because they can't say what we're going to say.
Yeah, like us, we're gonna say what other people, especially men, feel like they can't say.
Yeah. I have a good friend. Shout out to Mike Etor. He and we've been talking about this for years. And Mike has been an author, he's been a leadership coach. He was my boss many years ago. He's my mentor, he's my friend. And he and I have been talking about this for years. And I've always said, Mike, write a book, talk about how women really act in the workforce. And he's like, I'm not touching that subject with a 10-foot pole. He goes, if I said anything like that, the women would be all over me. So, Mike, this is for you.
Congratulations, Mike.
Yeah. Okay, so the intent again is to educate young females that are coming into the professional world about what kind of behaviors they can expect by other women out there.
Yeah.
A lot of times, I think the misperception is that the man is the one who makes or breaks your career, and that's not necessarily so.
And that's definitely not so.
What brought this book and this podcast on is I was sitting down one night with a friend and her daughter who had recently graduated from college, and she was ready to take on the world, and she just knew the man was not going to hold her down.
Right.
She said she was going to color her hair and she wasn't going to wear a bra to work and she was going to stop shaving her legs. And you know what? Great, great for you. Um, but I'm like, what are you talking about, the man? And she said, I'm not going to let a man hold me back.
Mhm.
I'm going to go out and I'm going to change the world and I'm going to take on the system.
Yep.
And I paused because I said, wait a minute, what if I told you it wasn't the man who actually held women back, but it
Yeah.
was other women who are the ones who are the obstacles for
Yeah.
many of us?
Yeah. And from what I've seen so far in this workforce, definitely it is other women going against other women that make it harder for the women to actually move up in the ladder.
And what we're not saying that this doesn't occur out there.
Yeah.
We're not saying that there's not oppression that against women or other
Mhm.
minority classes. That's not what we're saying. What we're
No.
saying is from our experience and
Yeah.
from a lot of women that I know that I've talked to,
Yep.
they've had the exact same experiences that we have.
Yeah, I've definitely talked to older women, younger women my age, who definitely say the same thing, that it is men out there too. It's not just the women, but the women, we're supposed to work together,
Yeah,
but instead we're working against each other for many reasons.
yeah. So one of the things that you might hear if you aren't familiar with is the concept of the glass ceiling. So you'll hear that a
Mhm.
lot in your women's studies classes. You'll hear that a lot out if you go out to LinkedIn, if you go
Yep.
out to social media. There's the concept of the glass ceiling. And so, what the glass ceiling is, it's just an invisible barrier that keeps one class of individual or one class of um, geographic location or race from advancing upward.
Yep.
In our case, when we talk about the glass ceiling, we're talking about how women never get to achieve the same level as men. So
Yeah.
when they talk about the glass ceiling, specifically, they'll talk about like female salaries,
Yeah.
the difference in what men get paid versus the difference in what women get paid, and how that barrier between is what they consider the glass ceiling.
Yeah, and it just seems like men are allowed to advance in any type of workforce. It just seems like they keep women at like a bare minimum, like the middle line. They don't want women to go farther up the ladder. They just want it to be like a man's world, basically.
But here's the question I ask:
Yes.
what if the reason that exists is
Hmm.
not because of men, but because of women?
That's a good
Because our
question.
behavior,
Yeah.
I mean,
Think about it. If you really think
yeah,
about it, some of the women do act like they can't handle that type of power that a man has in the
yeah.
workforce. So that is a good question.
So instead of concentrating on why men advance so
Mhm.
much more, so
Yeah.
much faster, more pay, is why aren't we examining what is the women's behavior that's
Yep.
preventing them
Yeah.
from meeting that ceiling?
Yeah. Like what is it like, does he have more knowledge? Does he have like more obedience? Is he disciplined a little bit more than that female is? It's just there's many factors I feel like that takes place in that,
Yeah.
because it all depends on how you act, and it all depends on how you carry yourself too. With me, like I said, being a newbie, this is what I'm seeing and what I'm realizing, and it's just I feel like that's just what it is. It just depends how you carry yourself and what you're doing with yourself.
Yeah. Which is a great lead into
Mhm.
our discussion. So again, we're not feminists here.
No, definitely not being feminist. We're just trying to be real about it.
Yeah,
We're just not trying to sugarcoat it, because other people will sugarcoat it as like, oh, it's just men, but it's women too.
yeah.
It's an equal amount. It's not just one. It's not just the other. It's both of them.
So excellent points, Tia. That's going to lead us into our main discussion for today. This is Culture Codebreaker. This is the book that I put together that
Yep.
prompted this whole podcast and this whole discussion. This is a very quick read. So have you ever pulled up a self-help book and you're looking at it and
Yep.
you're like, oh my God, this is 400 pages. I
Yeah.
do not want to read 400 pages of self-help. This is not that type of book. This is very much a quick read, and it gives you strategies and tips and even worksheets on how to maneuver the workforce with what we're telling you
Yep.
today.
Exactly.
So we're going to expose the truth. Then you can use this as kind of like your guide to how do you want to develop yourself so that over time you are not repeating the patterns of what has been out in the workforce already.
Yeah. So you can start doing something better to
Yeah.
make a difference, to make a change.
Yeah, and that's our whole purpose is we
Yeah.
want to be able to help you make a change,
Yep.
make a difference, so you're not carrying on the same baggage that what we've had to
Yeah.
experience already in the
Yep.
workforce.
Exactly. Because I think everybody deserves better than what's actually out there.
Yeah. So let's start with some of the unspoken battles. So tell us, Tia, what have you experienced so far as a newbie going into workforce? Things that you've encountered with other women that you never suspected, or you're just kind of in disbelief that this
Hmm.
is actually happening.
Yeah. Couple encounterments that I've had so far when, like she said, I'm a newbie in here. Um, Women talk about women, and it's so bad. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not even a she's so pretty. Like let's go help
Mm.
her. Like
Mm-hmm.
she, just these uplifting things. It's more like, like look at her shoes. Like look at what she's wearing today. She decided to do her makeup. She thinks she's better than somebody. That's not okay. That's definitely not okay. Because we're supposed to be, it doesn't matter male or female. I think we should all be uplifting people, like uplifting each other. Like how do you know somebody could be having a bad day, somebody could be not enjoying the life that they're living in that exact second? So why do people have to go out of their way to make somebody else feel bad about themselves?
So I'm sure our viewers out there are going to say, "Yeah, Tia, but that goes on. That goes on all the
Yeah,
time. It goes on in schools. It goes
yeah,
out on playgrounds. I mean, it doesn't matter."
very true. I think that is very true. It's definitely very true, but it's different when you hear it coming from somebody who's 57. Different coming from somebody like I'm I'm young, for an instance. I'm young. So it's just coming from like somebody older than my mom or somebody that's close to my grandpa and grandma's age. We got a whole like gap right there.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, and here's another perspective for you. So, when you're
Yeah.
out in the workforce and that behavior is going on,
Mhm.
what you don't realize is that, yes, we all know that gossip and backstabbing,
Yeah.
we know it exists,
Yep.
we know that it's catty,
Yep.
but what a lot of us don't realize is that has the ability to sabotage someone's career path.
Yeah. Because you never know like how it's gonna make somebody feel.
Yep.
You never know if it's gonna discourage them. You never know like if they're gonna just stop the path that they're on, all because of the things that you just said to them.
Yeah. And I can tell you that even though we can all say, "Oh, I don't believe the gossip," it plants that little
Mhm.
seed into your head
Yep.
that you might do something in the future, and that seed has been planted,
Mhm.
you never know how much it's going to grow.
Exactly.
So again, so what the podcast is, if you're aware of what's going on, then you can plan for it and you can prepare for it so
Yep.
that it protects your future projection.
Yep.
That
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Something that I never had.
I never had
Yeah.
like, and I wish I would have had it because I feel maybe I would be just a tad bit farther than what I am right now if I would have had a little bit of guidance and a little bit of help like this. So this is definitely all for good reasonings.
Yeah. So let's talk about a couple examples that I have in the book of things that I've seen over the years of what happens. Some of these may be a shock to you, some of
Yeah.
them may not. But I've seen this a lot where this happens and no one addresses it. But
Mhm.
so if you're aware going in ahead of time, then you know, okay, this might happen. This is what I can do.
Yep.
So let's take a look at the book, and I'll go through some specific examples that I talk about in here about things that I've seen over the years that happen repeatedly.
Mhm.
I think that's the key is when you've been out in the workforce for so many years, it doesn't matter the industry, the employer, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
I see these repeated same patterns,
Yep.
and let me know if this is something that you see as well. Definitely for sure, the coworker who forgets to include you on an email that goes out to the entire team.
Yeah, so how do you forget an employee?
Yeah.
Their name doesn't pop up?
Now, don't get me wrong here. There have been times when I was like, oops, I forgot to put you on there. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
fair. Okay, I guess it's fair because HR people do get a lot of stuff that they have to do. So I understand. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. How about this one, Tia? How about the manager who presents your ideas to the leadership team as their own?
Oh, I've had that happen to me a couple times. That is ridiculous. And
Mm-hmm.
then they get all the credit for your idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they won't tell them that it was your idea.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How about this one? How about they give you public praise, but in
Mm-hmm.
private, it's nothing but criticism?
Yep, 100%. Why? Why do you have to criticize me in private? I mean, thank you, but no, thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, how about this one? How about you're in a meeting
hmm
and they start correcting you in front of everybody?
No, that's no, because you can just do it privately. You can just pull me aside after the meeting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No.
Now, how about this one? How about you have an older coworker
hmm
who is threatened by your age?
Oh my gosh. Yep, I got a couple of those. I've been through that multiple times just because of my age. They look at me and they're like, I don't like her. But you don't have no reason not to like me.
Yeah, exactly. How about a manager who thinks that tough love is leadership?
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Because you're not my parent. So what do I need tough love coming from you for?
Oh yeah. How about this one, Tia? What do you think about outdated rules in the workforce? Do you
I've
think they are outdated, or do you think that from your experience and the employers that you've had,
mhm.
are they up to date with the times?
um I'm kind of neutral with that. I don't disagree or agree with all of the rules, but I think with a lot of them they are outdated. Like one thing that's a big issue at my current job right now is cell phones.
Hmm.
And I understand it, don't get on it when you know you're not supposed to. But if you have downtime, I don't see what the problem is. Because you got everything caught up, you did what you're supposed to do, and now you have downtime. So what do you do? Like sit there and just twirl your thumbs? Like,
Very, very important point there, because in later podcasts we're going to discuss
mm-hmm.
what the generational differences
Yep.
are
Mm.
and how they shape the current workforce.
Yep.
And one of those topics is going to be
Yeah.
cell phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. But I think some of the rules are definitely outdated. Yeah, for sure.
So there are a lot of subtle ways that women undermine each other. Most of the time, they're not blatant. And most of the time, when they're sabotaging you behind your back, you're left thinking, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
What did I do?
What did I do to deserve this?
Yeah. And so we're just here to tell you that it's not you. You're not alone. That
Yep.
we've all been through it. Whether your mother, your aunt, your grandma, whether your professor, whether they won't admit it or not, it's sometime in their life they have experienced this type of sabotage by other women.
Yep. And they just don't want to talk about it for whatever reason.
And I guess that's what also prompted me to do this as well. Is I've sat through so many HR trainings, sat through so many seminars and read so many books talking about women need to empower women, and
Mhm.
hey, let's all get together. Well, that's great, but what's the real truth? And
Yeah.
I think that's where we're different, is
Yeah.
we are actually coming out and we're saying this is what the truth is
Yep.
about women working with women,
Yep. Exactly.
with the intent of getting to that women empowering women.
Yep.
So we got a lot of work to do,
Yep.
but we're super excited to bring this to you. What are any more thoughts that you have, Tia?
Um, I think that this is definitely going to help a lot of people. I think this is going to definitely uplift a lot of people because, like you said before, we're not feminist. We're not going against women or we're not going against men. We're just kind of being neutral and being honest about everything that happens in the workforce. Um, we didn't have that, so now we're trying to give it to you guys.
Because honestly, if we don't bring the truth,
Then who will?
and it's just going to keep repeating the cycle
Mm-hmm.
over and over and over again.
And it's not fair to this next generation that's coming out to have to deal with the same things over and over and over again. It's not fair and it's not right. We're all human. We should be treated as the same, right?
And you are our future leaders.
Yep.
So I don't want my future leader acting like the current leaders that we have.
Yep, exactly.
I want my future leader to be able to truly conquer the world more respectfully and more positively.
Yep, exactly. With more character, with more discipline, with more knowledge, with more positivity.
Because I think the way that the world is today, we definitely need more positivity.
Yeah, we definitely need better leaders. We definitely need more people to just be human, like, and support each other and be there for each other, uplift each other, because it's just not right. We all bring each other down, and we're trying to make everything a competition when it's not.
And you know what? To be honest, with today's workforce, if you follow the news, if you look at the economy, people are getting laid off, jobs are being cut. So if we can give you information that helps propel you to a different level than those who don't have this knowledge, this is going to give you one leg up of your competition, because you'll know how to handle everything and you'll be able to go in the workforce more confident and more prepared to excel.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah. So more exciting stuff to come. Our next podcast, we're going to actually talk about the B word. Unfortunately, you can't have a discussion like that without talking about the B word. So we'll talk about the origins in that and how it's weaponized against women by other women. And then we'll also go into more examples of what sabotage looks like in the workforce. So we'll give you more strategies on how to handle it, to be prepared when you go out in the workforce so you can be more successful.
And success is the only goal that we're trying to succeed.
So if you're interested in purchasing my book, it is available on Amazon right now. We also have a periodical on Substack. If you don't know what Substack is, you've got to go out and check it out. That is where writers go out and they post true articles. So it's not censored by language. It is not driven by algorithms. You can go out there, you can search the different articles that you want to read, and you can subscribe to them. So I do highly recommend that you do subscribe to our Substack Culture Shock periodical. Weekly, we'll send out follow-ups to our podcast with some notes. There's additional articles out there. We'll also include some true stories about different scenarios that we've experienced that are very entertaining, that will leave you shaking your head going, you really can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, like, wow.
If you have any questions, if you have any feedback, if you would like to get a hold of us, you can reach us at lipstickandheels25@gmail.com. We welcome any feedback, any questions. If you're going through something and you want to share your feedback or ask for advice, we are more than happy to connect with you and give you our thoughts. And then also send us questions that we can include on our next podcast to make sure that we're answering your questions and that we're really truly helping you.
Let us know.
Yeah. So stay tuned for podcast number 2 coming next week. Let us know if you have any questions, and we look forward to seeing you again.